I hate to say it, but I think I'm getting bored with 3D printing. Another bloody box? Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, September the 5th, 2022, vlog number 279. And guess what? This is my second round of this vlog today. I was recording all of this, merrily going on my way, and realized that I pushed the wrong buttons and I did not record anything. So this is round two. Gives me a chance to be better than the first round. So let's get right into it, shall we? And show you what I have been working on. And this is my Halloween quilt. You've seen it in bits and pieces before. It is now done. It's all quilted. I did a spider and a web kind of design, a very dense design. I had a few problems with that, but it did turn out in the end. And I'm going to talk about those problems in a little bit more detail and show you the up close and personal, the actual quilting on this tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter. But it's all bound now, and I'm really happy with it. And it's sitting upstairs now across my couch, one of my couches in my family room, which is the couch that I use to display my latest finished quilt. And as I finish each quilt, I replace the one that's already on the couch with the new one. So yeah, it's a little early for maybe Halloween decor, but nevertheless, that's where it will sit until my next one is done. And speaking of my next one, here's the one I'm calling the Scrappy Christmas Tree Quilt. I'm just about ready to get it onto Lucy once I sew down the applique pieces. This is a sort of a temporary arrangement of the pieces, although it's pretty close to the finished look. I've just got them pinned there. Later today, I'm going to sew them all down, and then I can put it on Lucy, and I can quilt it. Now, you're going to say, well, when you quilt it, you'll have the appliques on it. Are you going to quilt over top of the appliques? No. There is something on the computerized software called Eclipse that I can set up so that as it's quilting, when it comes to one of these appliques, it skips over it and carries on with the quilting. I'm going to talk more about that too tomorrow in the Idiot Quilter. But yeah, my plan today is to get all these appliques sewn down so I can get it later in the week onto Lucy, and away I'll go. And I did finish my sister's table runner, and she now has it, and she has it on her table. At least I saw her put it on the table. I think she likes it. I think it turned out pretty nice. Now, the picture's a little skewy here because it's 72 inches long, this table runner. So I put it on my dining room table, but I had to lay it from corner to corner. Then I had to get on a chair and take this picture. So you can see Walter standing over there in the corner with his hands in his pockets. And so the picture's a little weird looking. And it makes it look like the table runner is a little crooked. It's not. It's just the angle I took the picture from. So anyways, I'm happy with the way it turned out. The quilting came out great on it. Again, thank you to that course I took. I was able to do in the very center square, there is a little different design than what's running down the borders in the main part of the table runner. And again, I'm going to explain that procedure in a little bit more detail on the Idiot Quilter tomorrow. Okay, so that takes me to the YouTube channel of the week. Now, this really isn't a channel, and this is more a cautionary tale. You know, we've gone through a pandemic, and it's still, parts of it are still there. Monkeypox. Now they're saying we're going to have a really bad flu season. Yada, 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 yada. It seems like nature is trying to kill us all. In this province, we have a shortage of doctors. We have a shortage of nurses. Emergency departments on hospitals are shutting down on long weekends because they don't have enough staff. You call up your doctor for an ache or a pain, and they don't want to see it. They're too busy. They send you to emergency in the hospital. It's a horrible, horrible situation right now in this province, and we have only our government to thank for that because they're idiots and assholes with it. But that means people have to find some medical advice from somewhere. So where does everybody turn for any kind of information or advice these days? To the internet. And YouTube, of course, is full of medical advice. Just do a search under the word medical advice or doctor or whatever or health, and you are going to find literally hundreds of YouTube channels that deal with people's health. And a lot of these channels are supposedly done by doctors. Okay. We all know that YouTube can be a big business for creators, for content creators. And so a lot of these doctor YouTube channels are getting millions of subscribers and views. Yeah, millions. Which means if they're monetized, and they probably are, they're making a lot of money on that. So the point is, can we trust them? Well, here's my thoughts about that. This week's YouTube channel of the week is really not a YouTube channel. It is information that you can glean from YouTube that may or may not be right. This is a case of buyer beware. In this day and age when it's very difficult to get a family doctor, or it's very difficult to get in to see a doctor about a problem you may have, many of us probably go to the internet and Google our symptoms to see if we really have something serious or not, or how to treat what we might think we have. And of course, YouTube is an excellent source for information. So I did a search on medical advice and I found a playlist, well, a lot of things by different so-called doctors, medical experts, specialists, things like that. You can see that many of these have huge number of views, like How I Memorized Everything in Medical School, 3 Easy Tips, 3.5 million. Best Topical Medicine for Pain, 182,000 views. COVID-19 day-by-day symptoms timeline, my first 7 days of coronavirus, 2 million views, etc. And there are hundreds, literally hundreds of these type of YouTube channels. So can we trust them? I say be cautious, because these do not serve as a substitute for your own family doctor or from an institution in your neighborhood, like a walk-in clinic or something like that. I mean, I have to question why legitimate doctors are putting up YouTube channels. What's the story here? And many times some of these doctors, well, take a look at this guy. They're young, they're attractive, they're often male. I don't know, but I think it's clickbait to get you to watch a video. And these are probably all monetized. So that means they're making, you know, if they get 2 million views, a lot of money from that. So I'm really not sure about something like this. So the reason I'm talking about this today is just buyer beware. Be careful. I had said a week or so ago on one of my rants on my vlog that, you know, how do we know when we're getting the truth? I don't know. So take it with a grain of salt. Take from it that which you think is reasonable, discard the rest. But just because it's on YouTube doesn't necessarily mean that it is the absolute truth or is absolute fact. So you will not find a link to that medical advice playlist, because it's really not a playlist. It was just a search. And all I did was put in medical advice or medical health, something like that. So you can do the same. Just take it with a grain of salt, because how do we know for sure that these guys are legit? Okay, you will find a link in the show notes for Stephen and Walter Live. We talked about, well, we talked about a lot of things as we usually do, But we also focused a little bit on the fact that this is a Labor Day weekend. Today's Labor Day, so tomorrow the kids here in our province, in our country, go back to school. I know that's not the same in all countries. States, in many states, the kids have already been back to school for a week, a month already. But here, Labor Day marks the last day of summer, unofficially last day of summer, and kids go back to school. But you know, teachers are going back to work too. And teachers are frontline workers. And nobody seemed to recognize that fact. We all talked about the nurses, we talked about the doctors, we talked about the paramedics, the firemen, the policemen, all through the pandemic. But we didn't talk about the teachers. So since I am a retired teacher, you know where my heart lies. We discussed the whole abuse that teachers get, the disrespect they get from the general public and from the government and other sources, and the health risks to them during COVID. I mean, after all, nurses did have protective clothing and equipment. Teachers did not. So all teachers had was a cloth mask, the same as everybody else on the street. And yet they were dealing with 30, 40 little bodies in their classroom that are all hacking up the virus. So anyways, we talked about that yesterday on Stephen Walter Live. So if you weren't there, you can catch it on the rebroadcast, and the link is below. You'll also find a link for the latest Idiot Quilter, episode 182, and you'll find a link for So Chatty, episode 73. About needle threading woes, mostly about automatic threaders, because if we've got a sewing machine that has one, we've all had problems with it. We talk about that. Now, I did have one comment that hurt me in there. They basically said they agreed with Walter. Walter made a comment during that video about something being boring, and this person agreed with them that this video was boring. Okay, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Just keep it to yourself. That's hurtful. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm too sensitive, but you know, I try to keep things informative and entertaining, but you know, I don't always win at that. And some topics just are much more factual than entertaining. So sorry about that. So if you find some of my stuff boring, and I'm sure there are parts of it that are, I mean, yeah, of course there are. But you know, if you have suggestions for topics that might not be so boring, put your money where your mouth is and put them in the comment section and I'll consider it. Yeah. Anyways, enough about that. Okay, what's going on outside my window today? Well, here's what we've got. It's a nice day. Temperature wise right now that was taken at 7:37 this morning. A little overcast, but it looks like it's going to be a pleasant day according to Weather Canada or whatever. 17 degrees Celsius right now. I keep looking at my watch because it tells me the temperature, and the high is going to be 23. So pleasant, very pleasant. Of course, we are starting to move into fall, so we have to expect that the temperature is going to, where I live, get a little cooler, and that's fine. But we're still in summer, so we have to enjoy what's left of it. And today looks like a day when we can do that, at least where I live. Okay, so that takes me to what's pissing me off this week. Well, I've already hinted at it with that comment about my video being boring. Okay? I'm sure the person who wrote that comment thought they were being helpful. Okay? It's just the way they worded it that, you know, bothered my sensitivities. But as I said, maybe I'm too sensitive. But you know, there's a lot of comments people make that they think they're doing you a favor. I don't even know if they think it that way. I think they're just the kind of individual that has to be right about everything. So if something comes out of my mouth and I've wrong, like a couple of weeks ago, I said that Perth was located, I think it was last week, I said Perth was located southwest of Sydney. Someone corrected me and told me, no, I said it was northwest of Sydney. Okay. And someone corrected me and said, no, it's south of Sydney. Okay. Then Walter said, yeah, that's where it is. He corrects me all the time. I'm used to that, though. So I looked at it. Well, technically, I was right. Um, I'm not good at geography, okay? I'll admit that. I hated geography in school and hadn't taken it since grade 9. Um, and so I do get a little bit disoriented when it comes to directions and things. But here's Australia. Sydney is here. Melbourne is down here. Now watch, somebody's going to correct me on this. And Perth, you know something? I'm going to show you. Okay, here is a map of Australia. Here is Sydney. South, this is south, right? Go way down south, you hit the Antarctic. So here's Sydney. South of Sydney, towards the west coast, is Melbourne. I would say then, if I was describing where Melbourne is in relation to Sydney, it is southwest of Sydney. Adelaide is north of Melbourne. It's almost parallel right across from Sydney. So that would be west of Sydney. Perth is way over here. Here is Perth. It is north of Adelaide and west of Adelaide. Sydney is way over here. Draw a straight line across from Sydney. And Perth is slightly northwest of Sydney. So, yeah, I was right when I said that. But apparently, I was wrong. Okay, whatever. As I said, geography is not my strong point. However, that is a minor comment. I have seen comments on not only my own channel, but on other people's channels where people have criticized the lighting, the sound, the visual quality. Okay, remember, most of us are amateurs and most of us do not have fancy equipment for doing these things. But it's like these people have to correct, well, you're doing this wrong. Another example, I was watching the White Cottage Company YouTube channel. Mary, the person who does the creation there, does all kinds of stuff about home decor, designing, gardening, cooking, things like that. It's very entertaining. She has a huge following as well. And once a month, she likes to do a Q&A based on the comments that have come up on her various videos in the past month. And she was doing one. Well, somebody made this comment. And first of all, I would have ignored the comment. I wouldn't even have addressed it. But she felt that she should address it, which suggests to me that it probably bothered her. This person was criticizing her music in the background of some of her videos. They thought it was the same old thing and it didn't add anything to the video, and that she should be using ambient noises instead. In fact, they even went further to say, and if Mary didn't know how to do that, this person would show them, like as though they're the director or the producer of the video. Now, Mary, I don't know how she managed to do this, but she was very gracious when she talked about this. And she sort of said, well, she used music for a certain reason, and she picked her music for this reason. And yes, that was an interesting idea about using ambient noises and that kind of thing. But you could hear under her voice, and if you read the subtext, what she was really wanting to say was, why don't you just go yourself and screw off? Yeah, but she was very gracious. I admire her for that, because I would not have been. Personally, I would have just ignored the comment. I probably would have deleted it, because I always have the power of the delete key. You've heard me say that before. But the point I'm making here is about these people who live basically in glass houses, because we all live in a glass house, don't we? When we start to criticize somebody, we're in a glass house and we're throwing stones. And we know how that adage works, right? People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones because it'll come back and bite you in the bum, or it can. But these people don't get that. They feel it is their God-given right to correct other people no matter what it is. If it's a minor little detail in something they've said, they feel they need to be corrected. Why? I would say they have low self-esteem. And for them, this gives them their jollies, and this boosts up in their mind, they're right, you're wrong, haha, I'm superior. No, I have no time for those kind of people. If I am genuinely wrong about something, then I'm wrong. Okay, fine. Thank you for the correction. But if if it really bothers you that much and you feel you need to write to me about it or to any content creator, do it constructively. Constructive criticism, as far as I'm concerned, is always welcome. Yeah, we can always improve. We can always learn more, right? But don't just unnave people from the seams to the chops, from the seam to the chops, or unseam them from the nave to the chops. That's how that Shakespearean line goes. I've not been teaching for a while, so I forgot these things. Anyways, I guess what I try to live by, and I say try because I'm human, I'm fallible, is an adage that I learned a long time ago called, the expression is, pick the mountain you want to die on. So basically, you've heard the expression, don't make a mountain out of a molehill. In other words, think about what it is you're doing, what you're saying. Does it make a big difference? Does it make a big difference to whether or not one individual likes the music or doesn't like the music that's in the back of a video? Does it make any difference that, maybe I was a little inaccurate about the placement of Perth to Sydney? Is it going to make a lot of difference if the sound isn't 100% right on a video? Like it's not, broadcast quality? Does it? Does it make that big a difference? The other expression that I like is, will it change the price of rice in China? Again, in other words, let it go. Like Frozen. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Because life is not long enough to be nitpicking at every little thing. And if you're somebody who needs this to boost your ego, you have a more serious problem than correcting a minor mistake on somebody's YouTube channel. Really. One word for you: therapy. Okay, enough about that. Moving right along to page 2. Product review. Well, you've seen this. I showed it last week, one of them. I got my second one. This is one of these things called a finger mouse. And it somehow fits on your finger. Yeah, I think it comes with some larger ones of these to hold it. My finger's too big for that. And anyways, you put it on somehow, and you've got little buttons down here that you can click. And they're your, right and left mouse button kind of thing. And there's a little, okay, trying to show this. A little scroll button here. And, it's rechargeable. It's got a little laser light that supposedly you point it at things and it's supposed to do things. Now, I'm saying supposedly do this and that because I don't know. I just got it, haven't read the instructions yet, and I didn't get it to use with my keyboard. I guess the idea is you can be typing along on your keyboard and then you need to click something so you can carry on. It's supposed to be more efficient. Anyways, I don't know about that, and to me it just feels very awkward. I suppose you can get used to it. But I'm going to use it with my long arm and with the computerized system because they had one at Whirls and Swirls and it works really well for certain things you're doing on there. And I will probably make a video once I've got this figured out, which one I'm going to use because I have 2 of them, and how well it works. And I'll probably do a little tiny video thing and show that on maybe Idiot Quilter at some point in time. But anyways, that's the new toy that I bought this week, or came this week. Nothing else new. So that takes me to the 3D corner. And yeah, let me get my picture up here for you. Guess what I've been making? Did you say gnomes? No, not gnomes. My second favorite thing to make, boxes or pots or pencil holders, whatever you want to call these things. Why did I make those? Do I need them? Well, I do actually need another pot because I've got some philodendrons rooting away, and so the green one is probably what I'm going to use for that, as long as it'll hold water. Haven't tested that yet, but I just like the design on them. So it was kind of an experiment to see if my printers could actually do these, make them, because there are some designs that a 3D printer just can't, or mine can't handle. Um, but it did it very well. They take a while to make, but I made two of them in two different sizes. And I'm making a third one right now. And yes, I am putting a gnome on it. I'm combining a gnome with one of these boxes, which would make a nice little holder for, sewing notions or pencils, pencil crayons, paint supplies, something like that. I don't know. I make these things, you know. Um, but anyways, that's what I've been doing. And I have to say that I haven't been printing 3D printing as much as I used to. Um, I'm getting a little bored with it. Well, not bored with it, just that I'm getting tired of making trinkets, making little figurines or little toys, basically. I want to make something that is practical, that's useful, that's stylish, that's unique, and could be given to somebody as a gift, and they would not look at it and go, "Oh, thanks a lot, that's wonderful," and toss it in the garbage can as soon as my back is turned. So I'm still looking for things like that to create. So if you've got any ideas or you've seen something, remember, I can't design them. It has to be a ready-made kind of model. I can do a little bit of altering, but not major. Let me know. Maybe you'll see something on the internet that grabs your attention, that's a 3D print that you want me to try. I'd give it a go within reason. We'll see. Um, but I've got to start looking for some Halloween thingies, see what they've come up with this year, what various creators have done. I've got to do a survey first of all the stuff I already made last year, because can you have too many Halloween decorations? Yeah, I think you can. And I got a lot right now, which is weird because I never ever decorated for Halloween. Halloween bah humbug. You know, I have a plastic pumpkin. It goes on the front step. Kids come to the door. I give them their apples and razor blade. I mean their candy, and send them on their merry way. But in the last couple of years, I've been quilting things, as you saw. I've got my Halloween quilt, but I have other things. I'm working on an in the hoop thing as we speak. That is a banner, or could be a table runner, which is kind of neat. I'll be showing that uh, in the next couple of weeks when I get it done. And so, yeah, so I've got a lot more Halloween decorations. So now I do decorate for Halloween, and I start the 1st of October. So, yeah, so maybe I can find some interesting 3D prints that I don't already have that I'll make for this year. We'll see. Okay, moving on. Blasts from the past trips. Fremantle is this one. Fremantle is sort of an area just outside of Perth, central. Um, I'm not going to say what direction it is from central Perth, because I'm sure I'll get that wrong and somebody will be right there correcting me. So I'll just save that information for another time. But Fremantle is an interesting place to go to. And so this video is all about that. And you'll also meet two people that we met up with in Perth, that live in Perth. They were people we met on another trip 8 years before when we went to China. And we've stayed in sort of semi-communication with them through Facebook over the years. And when they heard we were going to be in Perth, they graciously came out to meet us, took us around, saw different things. And one of the places they took us to was Fremantle. And then they took us back to their home for dinner as well. And they had a lovely home and an outdoor gazebo kind of thing to die for. But of course, they can use it pretty much year round because they don't get winters like we do. So anyways, you'll see most of that I think is in this video. I divided the video in two. So I'm not sure if you will see our host's home in the first part, or you'll see it next week in the second part. But anyways, here's the video. Okay, so here we are in Perth Day 2. This is Deborah.
Hi, guys.
This is Steve. And there are two people we met 8 years ago on a cruise through, or a trip through China. And they graciously taking us out today to see more of Perth. And so we're in, this is Kings Park?
Kings Park.
Kings Park, and this is the memorial. And it's gorgeous. More later. And this is the War Memorial. See? And great view of many people from Perth.
Yeah, we do have surprisingly, we met some people on a motorbike trip in India, and they're from Scotland. They came to Perth last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it last year or the year before?
Yep.
Year before.
So when we went to the Mint yesterday, they said they had about 6 Canadians come through.
Yeah.
Now, what is it exactly? Is it something about music or?
It's, you know, oranges and lemons, the bells and some
Yeah.
lemons. It's got those bells in it.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
Because we were talking about doing that one of the other days. Tomorrow we do the Pentacles, right?
The Pinnacles.
Pentacles. It's a great view. And across streams.
It's full-time staff.
Maybe have to look after
So we were in Adelaide, not Adelaide. We were in
How do we say that? Yeah.
Rasta Valley. There was a place we stayed in. What were those birds that were out?
Cordellas?
Corellas.
Corellas, that's it.
And they were noisy.
Yeah, yeah.
Old Faithful here.
They were noisy. What was that?
Something we really don't have in our area.
No, we have Lake Ontario, the beach is
We're going
really
this way
nice.
now.
Yeah, we'll go down the beach and go that way.
I'll walk along the beach.
Yeah. Pick your shoes.
I'm not really dressed for it.
Yes, you are.
I'd rather walk along the path.
Yeah.
No.
What's the matter with you?
We're good. We're not.
We're good, so. We're really not actually beach people. Well, when I say we, me, I'm not actually a beach and water person because, well, no, because it's. No, they're not
Do you
nice.
have yellow sand like this?
No,
No, we have a very
mud.
coarse. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what that was.
There's group finance up down on Macau Island. It's very, they're not elevated very high. There's a bunch of beaches on them,
Yeah.
and people go out there and going to the beach there. It's not bad to go but communities all around the side of the lake, there's a big problem with drainage from the cities into the lake.
I think that's sorted out by now. Yeah.
Yeah, you look
The
at
sculptures from
2006.
They've got
I was on the selection panel for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I used to be the CEO here.
Oh,
Town of Cobbeslow.
good choice. Huh?
jeez. Yeah. That's why you want me to take a picture of it. Yeah, it's a good shot. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, the colors of the waters.
Lake Ontario, what color would it be? How would you describe a shade of gray? No.
No, it's all.
Oh, is that one of those, what are those birds called? Corellas?
Corella, yeah.
Our birds are not so exotic. So,
Blue jay.
yeah, I guess our blue jays.
Are they noisy? Screechy?
Not really. They make a noise, but they don't. It's nothing like the Corellas. Yeah, they are blue though.
Yeah.
First who wrote it, yeah.
Always like outdoor eating areas.
Fremantle. This is all Fremantle. I have a following that have been watching my videos as I post them for my YouTube channel on that. A lot of them are Americans. So I have a few Aussies though that watch too. In fact, when we were in Adelaide, we met up with one of our regular viewers.
Yeah, Johnny Walker Black
Oh,
at Chengdu because
Queen or something.
they weren't interested in Deborah's.
Gin.
oh, they were selective.
Like they must recognise the shape of a Johnny water bottle, on radar.
So that takes me to events in the past week. Not much. We didn't do a heck of a lot. I mean, I worked on some of my projects as I usually do, but we didn't really go anywhere. The most excitement we had was going down to Ultimate Sewing and picking up a few things I needed for a class that's coming up in 2 weeks' time, as I mentioned before, and then off to Bath, Bed, and Beyond because I needed a new contour mat and bath mat for my downstairs bathroom. Why, you may ask? Well, the other ones basically wore out and I decided to throw them in the washing machine and they deteriorated. That's how long they've been around. So, and it's not easy to find that kind of thing anymore in our area. So we finally did at Bath, Bed and Beyond. We found a couple. $100 later, you've got a bath mat and you've got a contour mat. They're not cheap. And so, yeah, sad when the highlight of your week was buying bathroom accessories. But anyways, this week coming is going to be a little bit more exciting because Craft and Chat this coming Wednesday, September the 7th, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, running until 4 p.m. All are welcome. Come work on whatever you want to. Link for that's in the show notes. And I've already sent out an email to those that are on my mailing list for that. And if you'd like to be on that mailing list, just send me an email with your information. Well, actually, all I need is your name because I'll have your email address as well. And I'll add you to the mailing list for that. And I have 3 mailing lists. I have Craft and Chat, Pop-Up Sew Day, come back to that in a minute, and my retreat. that I run twice a year. Fall retreat is scheduled for October 22nd. There will be much more detail about that coming out in about 2 weeks' time. I'll be sending that information out to the mailing list people, but I will also be posting it all in the show notes for my videos for the next few weeks before the retreat as well. So you'll know everything you need to know about it, and just advance notice. Although it's a free event, I will be registering. You will have to register for it. It's just because, well, basically, I have a feeling that this one's going to be a lot more people than I've had before, and I can only handle a certain number of people for it. But the details about all of that will be coming soon, so not to panic, if you were. Maybe you weren't. And also, this coming Saturday, it's hard to remember what I talked about when I talked about it in the video that I was making before this video that I didn't really make. So if I'm repeating myself, sorry. Pop-up Sew Day, this coming Saturday. That is September the 10th, starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, running till approximately 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's very much like an extended craft and chat. It's longer, and you work on whatever you want to work on. All are welcome. Come and go as you please. You don't have to be right there at 8 o'clock in the morning. You can come whenever it's convenient for you and leave whenever it's convenient for you. It's just an opportunity to get together, work on whatever we're working on, share conversation, be supportive, and no drama. So that's this coming Saturday. The link for it will be in, well, it won't be in the show notes for these videos because I haven't said for sure that I'm having it. Now, the reason I'm planning it for this Saturday is because originally this Saturday was booked. I was supposed to be doing an interview and tour of Quilter Quilting. And then Walter tells me that the guy that runs his sewing class has decided on the Saturday to have an in-person sew day. And Walter's my cameraman for that session at Quilter Quilting. And he said, well, he didn't have to go. He didn't care. No, I think he really wanted to go. And so, easy enough, I sent Zach an email telling him the situation and suggested an alternative date for that. But I haven't heard back from Zach yet because, of course, it's the long weekend. So I don't imagine I'm going to hear back from him until maybe tomorrow when he's back at the store, because they're not open today. Of course, it's Labor Day and they're not open on Mondays anyway. So we'll see. But before I say for sure, I want to hear from Zach. So that's why I'm holding off. As soon as I do, I will make the final decision, which right now it looks like 95% for sure I'm going to have the pop-up sew day on Saturday. I will send that information with the link, the Zoom link, to those of you on my mailing list. And I'll also do a special little short video on my channel talking about the pop-up sew day. And also, I will have the link for it in the show notes of that video, which will probably come out on Thursday. That's what I'm aiming for now. Okay? So, there you are. And if you don't get an email, and if you don't see the video when I make it, just drop me a quick note, and as email. Email is always in the show notes, my email address, and I will send you the information. I will send you the Zoom link. Okay. All right. So that's all that's coming up for now. So I guess that means, which all this time I've been talking to in the picture. Oh, get with it. There, I'm back. You probably enjoyed the other one better than this view. Anyways, I hope you have a great week. Check out Idiot Quilter tomorrow once it goes up. I do have an interview going up this week as well. More about that in Idiot Quilter. And yeah, have a great week. Enjoy what's left of our summer, wherever you are. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye for now.